the greatest library ever told. In the very beginning, before the ticking of clocks or the turning of pages, the world was a canvas of light and shadows. It started with a breath and a garden, where the first two people, Adam and Eve, walked among the whispering leaves. They were the first characters in a story that would stretch across thousands of years, a story about a great promise and a long journey home. As the years turned into centuries, the world grew loud and forgotten. But one man named Noah listened. He built a giant wooden chest of a boat, big enough to hold the hopes of the future. When the great rains came, he stayed afloat, carrying life across the rising tides, until a rainbow painted the sky, a colorful signature of a new beginning. Then came Abraham and his wife Sarah. They were travelers in a dusty land, following a voice that promised them a family as vast as the universe. One night, standing outside their tent, they looked up at the velvet sky. Every twinkling light was a promise of children and grandchildren who would one day carry the words of truth to the ends of the earth. Many years later, the people found themselves in a land of heavy burdens. A leader named Moses was called to bring them out of the shadows. With a wooden staff and a heart full of courage, he stood before a great sea. As he raised his arms, the waters piled high like liquid walls, creating a dry path for his people to walk toward freedom. In the hills of Bethlehem, a young shepherd boy named David spent his days guarding his flock and playing music. He didn't know yet that he would be a king, or that his songs of joy and sorrow, called psalms, would be sung for thousands of years. He learned that even the smallest person can do great things when they walk with a brave spirit. As the story moved forward, wise men called prophets appeared. Isaiah sat in the quiet of the temple, dipping his quill into ink to write down visions of a future king of peace. He wrote about a light that would shine in the darkness, keeping the hope alive for everyone who waited for the next chapter of the great story. Finally, in a quiet town under a brilliant star, the New Testament began. Mary sat in a humble stable, surrounded by the scent of hay and the warmth of sleeping animals. In her arms, she held a tiny baby named Jesus. He was the one the prophets had written about, the Word of love made flesh, born to change the world forever. Jesus grew up and walked the dusty roads, telling stories that turned the world upside down. He taught people that the greatest strength is found in kindness, and that the kingdom of heaven belongs to those with hearts like children. He sat by the sea and climbed the mountains, always leaving a trail of healing and hope behind him. The story took a dark turn, but the shadows could not hold the light. 3 days after his breath left him, a woman named Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and found the heavy stone rolled away. The story wasn't over. It had only just reached its most glorious peak. Life had won, and the promise made in the garden so long ago was finally kept. After the king returned to the stars, a man named Paul took up his pen. He traveled across seas and through storms, writing letters to friends in faraway cities. These letters, along with the stories of the prophets and the life of Jesus, were gathered together into one great book, the Bible, so that everyone, everywhere could read the story for themselves.